Welcome to The Green Light. I'm your host, Shayla Neese, and I'm so grateful you've taken the time to listen to our Green Light conversation. Before I intro my guest, be sure to leave a comment and rating for the show. I value what you think about the show and every episode, so please run it up so I can know. Today's show is a special one because it marks episode 9, and 9 is my favorite number, y'all. I was born on September 9th, 9/9, and so I wanted to have a guest that captured the essence of what the green light is all about, and that's why I have Diva Davanna. Diva Davanna is a celebrity runway coach and model who's been that girl, still that girl, and forever that girl. I came across videos of Davanna back in 2008 when I was deep into YouTube as a middle schooler. She was in a clear bubble, giving it her all on the runway stage, and so while I'm a few years older than her, she was my first example of what a young person killing the runway stage looked like, because up until that point I equated modeling to being a grown person's thing. So back then Tyra Banks' America's Next Top Model was very popular and one of my favorite shows, and so it was really my only reference growing up. And so to have Davanna be a young kid that really pushed the boundaries and defined what confidence looks like no matter your age, and also proven that your talent will make room for you, it was such an inspiring thing to witness and see. And so watching all of her videos made me an instant fan, and throughout her career I always had a curiosity of who's the person behind the strut, because when supermodels Naomi Campbell and Tyra Banks co-sign your talent, how do you process that? Like, how do you still carry a humbleness through it all? And so that's really what I wanted to do a deep dive with Davanna on, and she is so giving of her journey and sharing transparent moments throughout her career with us. And so without further ado, let's get into it. I'm super excited that I have Diva Davanna to really share about her journey and basically how she started in the modeling industry. And so once again, thank you so much for joining.
Of course, I'm so happy to actually be on this interview with you. I've definitely seen what you've done with your platform, so to have me on it, and I'm just super excited. So thank you so much.
Oh, absolutely. Because first of all, I will say I am fangirling a little bit, because when I was in like high school and before like YouTube was really popping out,
Right.
I came across your videos and like I was like, who is this person with all this confidence? Like, you were, I think the first video I saw of yours, you were in like a bubble wrap, like a bubble ball.
Well, like it makes me cringe now, but everyone loves
Really?
that. All right, y'all. All right.
It's so good. And then another one, it's like you was like in a schoolgirl outfit with like the fluffed out socks. I thought it was just so cute.
Yes, that's another favorite of a lot of people.
Yeah, so it was like definitely fan favorites, but I kind of just want to go straight into like, who encouraged you to start modeling?
Okay, so my mom's best friend, his name is Timothy Smart. He was actually my runway coach when I was much, much younger. So he kind of believed in me from the start, as well as my mom. So like I said, that was her best friend. He's a part of the LGBTQ community, and he used to do my mom's makeup for her shows, because she did produce shows when me and my siblings were much younger. So he would be behind this, behind scenes and doing makeup for the models. And of course I was there also. I would, had no choice but to be in the show, because that was my mom's show, and my siblings, of course. So he came along, and, he was like, oh, telling my mom, I think Davanna has something special. Mind you, I would always go out on the stage crying for no reason, I guess because all these people, and I'm just like, I don't know if this is for me. So then she said, yeah, I think Davanna has something special. Like, let me, see what I can do. Let me work with her a little bit. And then it kind of was history after that. So he kind of knew I had something, and he kind of pulled that out of me. And he let my mom, he told my mom, yeah, let me handle her. And then, we actually got to it. So
that's amazing. Are your siblings still modeling or into the industry?
No. The complete opposite. So I have 4 siblings. I have 2 older brothers. I have a twin sister, and then I have an older sister. So my twin sister, she's a part of the music industry. She's into music. My sister has her own bakery here in New Jersey. My older brother has his own clothing line of streetwear. And then my older brother, he actually is in the, in the kind of like the the police type of detective feels.
Got it. Oh,
Yeah,
that's like a great mix of like careers all in
yeah,
one family.
it is.
So to your point of like, you really had him to help mentor you in your modeling career, like was he also the one that encouraged you like your YouTube channel to like upload videos? Like who was behind that?
My mom was actually behind that. She was, I think I don't know, she just had like some type of instinct that definitely said, okay, let me record Davanna. Let me get one of my friends to record all of her shows, her appearances, and I'm just, going to make a YouTube channel and then see what happens from there. So she definitely had an instinct with that. And a lot of people don't know that back then YouTube was, it was okay, but as far as like
Right.
getting yourself out there, it wasn't as popular. So my mom kind of kept that up. She kept uploading, being consistent, and I had no clue about what was going on with YouTube or social media
Yeah.
at that young age. So she kept that going, and I was just like, looking back now, I'm like, that was a great idea. So
Absolutely. She was ahead of her time because
right,
it's like it's harder now to go like viral
Mhm.
and get like millions of views, but
Exactly.
you were getting that because I feel like you were like it was such a like a specific type
Yes.
of like group you were in where you were young, you were a model, and you were just fresh on the scene for the YouTube, and
Mhm.
I was like, this is genius. And so I know that like you've graced many runways in your career, and now that you're a runway coach, do you still find joy in modeling?
So actually, I do find joy in modeling, but I think coming from a place like before even, being who I am now with being a runway model at first, I didn't have as much confidence. Like I said, I would go out, cry on the stage and kind of, it just wasn't my thing. But then over time, of course, I gained that confidence. And then I definitely was able to learn from other popular models like Naomi Campbell and the Tyra Banks and the Giselles and those girls. And I kind of learned from them. And I think implementing that into my own walk, into my own, personality, and it kind of like it went up from there, like the YouTubes and going viral on Instagram now and all those type of things. And then it kind of geared off into the runway coaching aspect. I'm like, yes, I do love modeling, but kind of me gaining all that confidence, kind of me putting that into other people, helping them gain confidence, helping them learn the
Right.
proper etiquette of runway and the basics of a runway walk. So that kind of makes me happy. And a lot of people take my classes and they're like, oh my god, I learned so much. I've never learned this from anyone else. All these new things, and that kind of makes me happy. So it's
Yeah.
50-50.
That's amazing. So like, do you have advice for those who may have shy personalities but still want to be a model? Because it's like, how did you push past those type of, emotions?
Yeah. So with my mom's best friend, he always made sure I had literally hours of practice. So I would come home, fourth, fifth grade, come home, change into my, my practice clothes. I would go to his house and he would make me practice for hours, whether it was in front of a mirror, whether it was, up and down his hallway. He kind of gave me like that instinct. Okay, take a mirror. You'll be in front of that mirror, see what you like, see what you don't like. You can practice your facial expressions. You can practice hand movements, your posture and things like that. And you can always fix those things. So like I said, at first I wasn't as confident while doing those things also. So then over time, being in front of that mirror, like I said, you can change what you don't like. You can, add to this, take away from that. So that I always tell my clients, practice in front of a mirror. Like I said, change, things that you don't like, add what you do like. And then that kind of changes the aspect of many things.
Do you also like record your clients like when they're doing the things so they can see themselves and how they look?
Yes. And a lot of clients either like they'll say, oh my God, can I just record? Like, am I able to record in the class? And I'm like, of course you are. You're able to record, see what you like, look back at it later and see like, your progress, whether you take my first class or you take the third class, you can see your progress. So that's always a big thing for me.
That's good. And it's like the way you just kind of broke down your schedule when you were growing up, I feel like a lot of kids may not have that type of discipline that you had to practice for hours. Like, could you just share a little bit more about your schedule? Like, were you practicing every single day, or did you have certain days out the week that I guess you would come home from school and start working on it?
So I'm pretty sure, I believe it was kind of like every day, Monday through Friday. And I may have had a few weekends off, but he kind of, like I said, he believes in me as well as my mom. So my mom's like, you got to do whatever it takes to, get the right runway walk, get the right attitude and all those things. So I think my schedule was pretty good as a child. I wouldn't say it was like anything crazy, but being a
Right.
child, but I was able to go to school, get all my work done. My grades were good. And of course I loved enjoying modeling after, getting into it and practicing. So I
Yeah.
was like, yeah, I would, I'll make sure my grades are good. I'll go to practice after school. And then, weekends I had off. So it was pretty good.
Did you ever feel like you were done with it? Like, did you ever get sick of it at any point?
It was a point in time where that actually happened. And I think a lot of people may think it's all like peaches and cream and all these good things, but it's like sometimes you feel like you work so hard and you don't get noticed or you don't get the right bookings that you want, And I think over time, as I got older, I kind of learned many of those things. And my mom, of course, she is my number one support system. And my mentor, my roller coach, I call my mentor as well, Timothy Smart, they made sure like, hey, certain things are going to work in your favor and some things are not. So you're either going to stick with it or you're going to just leave it alone. So I was like, oh no, I think I have some potential. I see where this can go. So I'm like, let me just finish. Let me just work a little bit harder and see what comes from that. And ever since then, it's been a lot of great things. So I'm happy that I kept going.
Absolutely. I'm happy for that you did as well, because like the way you really just worked the stage is like no other. Yeah. And I feel like I guess it seems like it was a natural transition to start your own etiquette and modeling school. Do you like being in teacher mode and like really shaping the next batch of models?
Yes, I love being in teacher mode because like I said, I'm able to teach my clients new things about runway, about the industry, about social media, and also helping them gain that confidence, whether it's in a runway class or whether it's outside in the real world, So it's always been a great thing. I think I had it in the back of my mind, and my mom, she always had the idea of having a school. People would ask me like years ago, I remember they would ask me, hey, do you think you're going to have a runway school? And I'm like, I don't know. It definitely wasn't on my roster, but over time, things change. So it happens.
Have you had any like big challenges like starting your own business, or maybe on the flip side, you've had like more opportunities because you have your own business where people can like actually have a location now to connect with you and help train?
Right. So getting this school was definitely a new process for me because my mom, she's an event planner. So she has her own venue. And my sister, like I said, she has her bakery. And then also my sister's husband has his own soul food restaurant all in New Jersey. So, looking at it from the outside, it kind of looks easy, like, running it and having all the customers and it's all, great and dandy. But I'm like going into this, I was like, you have to have permits, you have to have contracts signed, you have to keep the lights on, the light bills. And I'm just like, oh my God, like this is so much to handle. But my mom, she kind of, at the table with me signing and stuff. So she gave me the right tips and the tools. And, I was able to use my families to help me as well get the process going and get the ball rolling.
That's amazing. And like, how long have you since opened up the school?
So I just opened, my grand opening was either June or July, I believe. I can remember. It's been so many things happening, but yes. I have a grand opening just a few months ago. And since then it's been, a great thing from there. So
that's awesome. You're still fresh and, still thriving, but congrats on your launch. I'm super excited for you. What ages do you have, or like what's like the core age group that you're teaching?
Yes. So I started at 4 years old. So my age group starts at 5 and up. Okay. So there's 4 different age groups. I have the mini Naomis, and each of these names have like some type of meaning because I believe at that age I was Naomi Campbell actually said I was her mini me on social media. So 5 to 8 is my mini Naomis. Then I have 9 to 12, which is my legends. And for many of the people, some people may know, some people may not know, I am part of the ballroom community. So I am a part of the House of Miyake Mugler. I was ballroom's youngest legend, and now I'm ballroom's youngest icon in ballroom history. So I became legend at 12 years old. So that's my age group of 9 to 12. My supermodels are 13 to 17, which I feel like is an age and was age for me as well. When it came to social media, I kind of was known for being a runway model, having that Naomi Campbell walk, that supermodel walk. So that's that age group's name. And then my last age group is 18 and up, and that is the icons group. So I became ballroom's youngest legend at last year at 22. At the Latex Ball in 2022. So yeah, those are kind of the age groups. So 5 and up kids, adults, teens. So
That's beautiful. And you mentioned Naomi Campbell. And so like with supermodels like Tyra Banks, who you've been on her talk show, and America's Next Top Model, and of course Naomi Campbell, who's referred to you as her mini-me.
yes.
What does that type of cosign mean to you from them?
Yes. So having a cosign, a lot of people know the story of Naomi Campbell and Tyra Banks.
Right.
Actually, in my studio, in my school here, I have my kind of like my wall gallery of my pictures on the wall on this side. So I have I went on the Tyra Banks show at 9 years old. So Tyra Banks' team actually saw me at a latex ball in 2009. And a lot of people go to these balls. Celebrities are at these balls, their team, their makeup artists, their hairstylists. So the next thing you know, my mom gets an email saying, "Hey, we seen your daughter, Diva Davanna, at this latex ball. We would love to have her on our next show." It was like a segment for entrepreneurs, like young entrepreneurs who have like these talents and things. So next thing you know, I was on the Tyra show at 9 years old. And Tyra was definitely a great person to be around because of her being in the industry for so long. Like I said, I grew up watching her, watching the Giselles, the Naomi Campbells, and I've learned so much from her. So to be on her show was like a surreal moment. And many people know the story of me going on, crying and all this.
Yeah. But it was so sweet though.
Yeah, so I kind of look back on it like it was a great opportunity. So I'm always grateful for her. And also she had me on America's Next Top Model, Cycle 13, when I was 10 years old that next year. And that was a great opportunity being with Miss J, coaching the girls. It was kind of like coaching during that time with me being 10 years old. So that was a great opportunity nonetheless. So I always thank her for that. And then Naomi Campbell noted me as her mini-me. She posted a video of us side by side on Instagram. It's a few years ago. I believe it was 2014 because I know I was still in high school at the time. And my mom had called me saying, "Hey, check Naomi Campbell's Instagram page." And I'm like, "What are you talking about?" Next thing you know, it's a video of us. She's like, "Oh, my mini me. People are tagging me, Diva Davanna. This is you, blah, blah, blah." And I was just like, wow. And that was like, I was like so shocked because you don't get celebrities who usually do things like that.
Right.
So for me to be, that young and that person to get that recognition it's really a dope to me.
And so when you finally met her in person, what was going on and how did the infamous picture of you two happen?
Yeah, so I met Naomi Campbell at it was a meet and greet she had with a company in New York. And my mom sent me the flyer. She was like, "You need to go." Mind you, I was still in school. I'm like, I'm not going to have time to get over there. I live in New Jersey. That thing is in New York. There's traffic, all these things. And I'm like, all right, let me try. I guess you never know what'll happen. So I went with my twin sister, and a lot of people were there outside waiting for Naomi to come. And next thing you know, I had pulled up the video on my phone, actually, the video of a side by side. And I had like showed it to her really, really quick so she can see. And she had pulled me like right in, gave me the biggest hug. She's like, "Oh my God, you got so big. You got so big." And I was like, oh my God, she remembers me. So it was like so surreal. And I was like, she really remembers me. So that was really cool.
That's amazing. And so a little bit, you briefly talked about, how you were involved with like the latex balls, but overall, the queer community has really embraced you ever since you were young. And can you talk about exactly how you started walking in the latex balls and just like the overall ballroom scene? Like, how did you, first get introduced into that world?
Okay, so once again, my mom's best friend, he got me in the door with that. Okay. He knew about these balls. He had friends. He was actually in a house. Can't remember the name, but I know he was in the house with Jordan Zion, and that's the first house I was in. That's no longer a house, but he was like, Davanna has the attitude. She has the confidence already. So I think it would be good for her to step out into this new field. And I was like, I don't know what's going on. I don't know these people. I don't know these categories that they do. My mom had no clue either. So we just went. One time I went to a ball and just to see, the environment, to see what they do and, the categories and things like that. So I went one year to actually walk, and I was like, I don't know what I'm going to do. I practiced a lot, definitely. He made sure of that. But I was like, okay, I think I know what to do, but let me just try. So next thing you know, my first ball, I believe I won that ball because it was somewhere like in like a hole in the wall. But then I went, and it was like a great experience. And from there, I kept going up. Some balls I did win, some I didn't win, but that didn't stop me. So I kept going.
No, yeah, absolutely. It did. And like, did you ever receive backlash or negative feedback from being in those type of spaces?
Absolutely. There was a lot of people who, for one, was saying like, shouldn't she be in school? Like, why is she here? And I was the only young one like at these balls during the time. And
Right.
this was, mind you, 2008, 2009.
Yeah.
So I'm like going through like already a lot because I'm like, y'all are messing with me and I'm a kid in school.
Exactly.
So it was a lot for me. And of course, my mom was at every ball. She hasn't missed one. My mentor, Tim, who actually got me into these balls, and they made sure I was actually okay. They made sure I was, protected. They made sure I was comfortable all the time. So I didn't have an issue with that. But then over time, people started saying, okay, I think she's growing on us. She actually knows what she's doing. She's actually eating the girls up, and it's like a big thing. So
exactly, tins everywhere.
Right.
And so I know recently, like Teen Vogue profiled you and gave you a feature. In your recognition as ballroom's youngest icon. With being an icon in your career, is it added pressure, or do you treat it as an honor and not let it really affect you?
Okay, I would say it's kind of like a 50-50 with that, because I do want to create more moments in the ballroom scene and want to make, people, even more inspired than they already are from my journey. But then I also sit back and say, hey, I've actually done a lot. And I've been model, in the ballroom scene since I was like, 8 years old. And I'm like,
yeah,
you don't have anyone else who has done that. So for me, it's kind of 50-50. Yes, I want to keep going. Yes, I want to continue to inspire, but also, sometimes I do sit back and say, hey, you really don't have to walk a ball ever again because you are the youngest icon, but you can, if you want to. So it's 50-50 with that.
Yeah, that's good. And so I know, like, going back to like your runway coach experience and how you're now in teacher mode, you've trained P. Diddy's daughters as they prepare for a show. Like, how did that opportunity happen?
Yes. So Naomi Campbell actually got me that. She helped me with that. And I was like, so like in shock, because I'm like, is Naomi Campbell in my DMs right now saying, hey, we're going to send the girls over to you. And I was like, wow. So it was true. Next thing you know, I was flown to LA for a week. I guess, Diddy and his assistant were like, basically, like, we need these girls to be right. We only giving you 7 days. Their show was in Italy for Dolce & Gabbana, and we need them together. And I was like, okay, no problem. So the first day I got there, we had practice. I got off the flight, went to my hotel. We actually, went to their house. It was me and my mom. And my mom, she was already like starstruck. The girls, they were sweet. Even Diddy himself, he was so down to earth, and it was just an amazing experience, teaching them, and they actually enjoyed themselves also. But I was able to teach them the necessary things, the basics, having proper etiquette of your arms, of your hands on hips, having the right shoes on. So they made sure they were willing to learn. So I was happy with that. It was great.
And so with the girls and just girls in general that you train, do you have to know how to walk in heels first, or how do you approach that with like tennis shoes, no shoes, heels? How do you do that?
So it would be a plus to know how to walk in heels, but usually I tell someone, if they don't know how to walk in heels, you can start from like a kitten heel, which is like maybe 2-3 inches off the ground, and then work your way up. I always tell people, even when I started in my videos, you can see I had on kitten heels. I was in these 5-inch heels at 7-8 years old. So I really started young, and my mom's best friend Timothy made sure I had those kitten heels on until I got to a certain age. I was able to gradually work my way up. So I always tell people, start small. It's okay to start small and then work your way up after that.
Nice. And so with Diddy's girls, like, did you see the transformation within those 7 days that they had to train with you?
Yes, I did. So I did definitely record them for the first day. I recorded them kind of every day. My mom made sure of that. And then even they said, or even like I believe their assistant said, hey, we definitely see a difference in them. For one, they're more confident in themselves when they're walking. And this will be their first fashion show. So they're actually excited and they want to learn. So I think if anyone is willing to learn, they'll make sure they're putting the work in to actually want to see how they look, on the runway, and kind of get better and better after that. So if they were to call me again, of course I'd go. But looking at their shows previously, they've done an amazing job. So I'm glad they took that to
yes,
to
you're
me.
a proud coach.
Yes.
I know you're from New Jersey and you're based in New Jersey. So how much of your work is based in New York, and do you feel like you have to be in LA or New York to really have a successful career as a model?
So I don't think that at all. So yes, I am from Newark, New Jersey. I think majority of the people think that opportunities are in one place, but I think there's opportunities everywhere, even for, singers, dancers. And you have to put yourself out there. For instance, social media is a big thing right now. So if someone wants to fly you out to a different, country or a city, then they will do that. So New York is very good for me and my clients. New Jersey. I've been to, of course, Los Angeles. I've been to, Florida for classes. I've been flown to Spain and Belgium for classes. So the things, the work is there. You just have to make sure you present that to the world, and, that'll come in return.
Exactly. So I know like younger, YouTube was like the core social media platform that you use, but is there a specific site that you would recommend? Like, is it more TikTok or Instagram that you would suggest someone to like really start posting their videos?
So I actually enjoy, now looking back, I enjoyed my YouTube days because some of my videos have like 1 million views, some have like 500,000. So YouTube is actually a big thing also still. Instagram is like my number one go-to because those reels, a lot of people know those reels can go viral. It can reach different audiences. It can reach people who don't even follow you. So Instagram for me specifically is a great outlet for me. And TikTok, I'm just now starting to get on TikTok, but I can see that it's growing. So I'm not, it's not too bad. But Instagram for me, everyone's different. So, you may not have a lot of followers on YouTube, but you'll have a lot of followers on TikTok, so it goes different ways.
Would you ever consider like really getting back into YouTube and maybe like doing videos where you're like looking at past videos of yourself modeling or, more of that type of like content?
Yes, a lot of people ask me that, but I'm like, I know YouTube is a lot of work though, like editing and all that, because I didn't edit, my videos back then. But editing is a lot, and then, cutting and then adding certain graphics and all these things. It's a lot, and then recording the content yourself. It's a lot, but I think I will. I have almost 20,000, subscribers on there, and it could be more. I just have to be more active. So maybe within the new year. Maybe.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, your supporters will definitely, treat that as a a nice treat to kick off the new year. What do you feel has been like your biggest career highlight to date?
So I would say I have a few. I definitely would say going on the Tyra show, meeting Naomi Campbell, walking for Laquan Smith. He's a great designer, Black designer. Of course, coaching Diddy's daughters. Of course, meeting him as well. Being featured in Teen Vogue. Being a part of the Rihanna Super Bowl commercial was a big thing for me this year of 2023. I think those are a few. I'm probably missing a lot, but those are.
That's a great batch of like career highlights. You mentioned your mom and being like a big supporter of you throughout your career a lot. For people who are modeling, like, do you have a agent and a manager? Like, what's kind of like the core leaders or roles in your circle that helps you like book a gig or get on an actual runway lineup? Like, how does that work?
So my mom, for instance, she is my momager, as they say. So she's usually ahead of the table. She makes all the calls. She knows what's right for me and what's not right for me. She always tells me to like do my research when it comes to certain things or people. So she kind of knows a lot to the business. And a lot of people ask her like, hey, are you going to ever host like a seminar or something like that? Because honestly, she's behind majority of my gigs, majority of the things I've done. So I can only, be happy for her and grateful for her. And she's still, doing things for me, even with her own business going on. But I do have an assistant as well. And I'm even looking for another assistant to help me with my modeling school. So assistants really matter. They get you out there. They may be able to have context that you don't have. So they can, word things differently and get your, foot in the door with certain things. So
and help kind of like run the day-to-day operations because like you're the talent and then now you're a business owner. So you have a lot of hats to kind of like cover. So it's good that you have a solid support team. And so once again, I'm so grateful that you say yes. Cause like when I had my dream list of guests, your name was a part of that badge. Cause I was just really interested in like your childhood and like how you've been able to really balance, like just this
Yeah.
rise as a model, but also have some type of normalcy, you know, throughout it. Like, you know, you weren't on social media or online wilding out. Like, you kind of maintain like a perfect balance of like, you can have this talent and gift, but still, you know, stay true to yourself.
A lot of people say that also, because I think I've grown up around of just a family that were very nurturing and very protective, and making sure if we had an issue, we were able to talk things out and just get down to the bottom of it. So it kind of came also with the business aspect. Like if things didn't work out, I was like, okay, you know, that's fine. There'll always be more after that. And my mom, like I said, she's my number one support system. So she makes sure that I'm usually okay. Sometimes there's been gigs that I wanted and I didn't got the email, hey, you know, no thank you, but thank you. And I was like, I would literally cry because I'm like, I deserve these things. But next thing you know, something bigger came around. My mom was like, see, I told you, you know, that type of thing. So I'm grateful for that.
Do you like doing photo shoots or runways, or like what part of modeling gets you most excited for?
Definitely runway. A lot of people don't know that print modeling is like my weakest thing. Like I hate taking photos. Like I can't get the right angles, like the facial expressions. I'm just like, no. Like on the runway, of course, I can do a walk. I can do great facial expression on the runway, but that's the only thing that kind of gets me up. Like I can walk a room down, but not the print work aspect.
Wow, that is interesting. Because I felt like maybe, you know, a model is just, you know, just has like strengths in every area, but okay. So to wrap up the conversation, I always ask guests to share 2 songs that best represent their personality. And so far, like with each guest, it has been very tough for them to try to give me 2 picks, because it's like, you know, they'll either give me an album or you know, a few songs, which of course, you know, please do. But I have a music playlist that's going to come at the end of the finale of my show. And so, do you have 2 songs that are like your top favorites?
So because my name, of course, everyone knows I'm Diva Davanna. So the number one song I usually go to is Beyonce's Diva. Because I'm like, I kind of give, if you listen to it, like, you know, dissect it a little bit, it's kind of giving what I give usually. Not in like a bad way, but, you know, that kind of aspect. And also, I would say Rihanna, it's kind of explicit, but Rihanna, BB.
That's cool. Okay.
If you... acronym, because Rihanna, I love her so much, and like I said, I was a part of her Super Bowl commercial, one of them, and she's like such a go-getter. She's like the perfect businesswoman. She knows what to do. She knows how to put her work out there, execute it properly. So that's my girl. So her songs, even her Anti album, that whole album,
my gosh, fire. Yeah, both songs is definitely like that boss up type of feel. And I feel like when you're strutting on a runway, that's like the perfect theme songs for you. Like those are your anthems.
Yeah. Definitely.
So, yeah, absolutely. Well, once again, I appreciate you so much, and I'm so glad that the listeners got more insight into your world of modeling and really, you know, what you're doing today to, you know, really just continue your continue your career and really shaping the next batch of professional models. If you love today's guest and our green light combo, please tell someone, your mama, daddy, cousin, sister, brother, auntie, uncle, about the show, and be on the lookout for the next episode.